trafficking and hearing trial of Sean Diddy Combs, we have heard testimony from big-name celebrities linked to the now disgraced music
victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim Porter?
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that.
Grammys, everybody. You know, when you equal a record, there's no way you don't get to hold your Grammy in your hand and celebrate that. And the Queen is officially in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, Beyonce Knowles.
All right, grab your snacks, because this Beyonce and Jay-Z situation, it's hotter than a summer scandal and messier than a soap opera finale. What started as Diddy's downfall is now pulling in some of the biggest names in music. And guess who's allegedly next on the chopping block? Yep, none other than Mr. and Mrs. Carter. The streets are buzzing, tapes are leaking, and now even federal prosecutors are reportedly name-dropping like it's a rap battle. Beyonce and Jay-Z might not just be bystanders in this chaos. They could be deep in the middle of it. It all started when Diddy's case exploded with courtroom bombshells, hidden audio, and testimonies that shook the industry to its core. But the wildest twist? Diddy's not the only one in hot water. Word is prosecutors are gearing up to go after some of his closest, most powerful friends. And Jay and Bey are allegedly right at the top of that hit list. This isn't just talk. Insiders say Beyonce's already canceling shows and making moves behind the scenes. And no, they're not planning a romantic getaway. This is a full-on escape mission. Rumors say that they're plotting to disappear to a country with no extradition deal. So if things turn legal, they're out of reach. Now, here's where it gets even juicier. For the longest time, folks believed Jay was just the cool guest at Diddy's wild Hollywood parties, while Beyonce kept it classy from the sidelines. But plot twist, new whispers say Beyonce might have known way more than people thought. She wasn't just dragged into it, she was allegedly in the mix too, fully aware of the freak-off lifestyle Diddy was known for. And with prosecutors allegedly getting closer, the Carters might be trying to vanish before their names hit the headlines.
Right now, who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim Porter?
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Pierce.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter,
Yes.
a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more.
Now, first of all, let's talk about how deep this friendship really went. Jay and Diddy weren't just industry buddies, they were ride or die. Jay was one of only two people allowed to call Diddy by his real name, Sean. The other one, Diddy's mom. That's not casual, that's family-level tight. Diddy was always at Jay and Beyonce's ultra-exclusive Rock Nation brunches, smiling for pics like everything was golden. But when the Cassie lawsuit dropped, boom, Diddy disappeared from their lives like a ghost. It was like he never existed. Still, fans weren't fooled. They started digging, and what they found? Well, let's just say it raised some serious eyebrows.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Mm-hmm. Me and maybe about 15 others.
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put it into perspective of the type of company I was in
right.
at the moment, And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to.
Right.
Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope.
Now, this is rapper DaBaby, who claimed he was invited to one of Diddy's ultra-private parties in LA back in 2020. We're talking VIP only, barely any people there. And who was in the room? Jay-Z and Beyonce. According to him, the energy was off. It wasn't your typical A-list dinner party. It felt more like a secret gathering with freaky undertones. That moment made online detectives start connecting dots real fast. If Bey and Jay were really there, what else were they part of? And don't forget Jay-Z's own past isn't squeaky clean either. People are now digging up old stories, shady deals, and forgotten drama. And suddenly it's all starting to come together. Now, long before Jay-Z was celebrated as a music mogul and one half of the so-called royal couple of hip-hop, there were rumors swirling that still haven't died down. One of the most haunting claims, that Jay had a relationship with Foxy Brown when she was only 15. It's a rumor that's never truly gone away. And the moment his former business partner Dame Dash was asked about it, the air in the room practically froze.
At what age was Foxy Brown signed?
No, I wasn't paying attention to Foxy Brown.
Yeah, but that's...
I didn't sign Foxy Brown.
I know
Stop
you
putting
did. I'm
me in
just
that.
asking a
You keep asking
question.
because I'm on the block. I'm responsible for everybody.
You the boss.
I wasn't. Oh, now I'm the boss.
As you can see, Dame looked visibly uncomfortable, dodged the question, and told the interviewer to go ask Jay himself, because he wasn't about to be the one to spill the truth on camera. That kind of reaction didn't clear things up. It made people even more suspicious. Then you've got the R. Kelly connection, something that Jay-Z's team probably wishes the world would forget. But fans haven't. Jay didn't just work with R. Kelly once or twice. He made a whole album with him. He toured with him, all while the world was already raising red flags about Kelly's behavior. And when Dame Dash was asked why he eventually separated himself from Jay, he didn't hesitate. He said it was because Jay refused to distance himself from R. Kelly. That's not just a creative difference. That's a moral line being drawn. People started looking at Jay differently after that. Was he turning a blind eye, or was he comfortable walking in the same shadows? Now people are wondering, is Jay just another version of Diddy in disguise? The kind of powerful man who hides behind charm and money while the skeletons pile up behind closed doors. And when you add Beyonce to that picture, it doesn't make things clearer, it makes them even more confusing. On the surface, their relationship is picture perfect. Red carpets, flawless outfits, powerful music moments, they seem like the ideal couple. Untouchable, unstoppable. But behind the curtain, it might not be a love story at all. It could be a calculated high-stakes business arrangement, one designed to protect their empires, not their hearts. And now that both of their names are being quietly mentioned in legal circles, people are digging up their past with fresh eyes. Let's rewind the tape. Jay-Z has always had a certain pattern. He's drawn to young, rising women just stepping into the spotlight. Women who are still figuring themselves out. After the Foxy Brown situation, whispers started about Aaliyah. At the time, she had just escaped her bizarre and deeply troubling marriage to R. Kelly. That's when, according to insiders, Jay-Z started sending her flowers, inviting her to industry events, trying to sweep her off her feet. But Aaliyah wasn't interested in Jay. She was drawn to Dame Dash, Jay's own business partner. And just like that, it seemed like there was this dark, twisted ego competition between Jay and Kelly over who could win over the most vulnerable star. Like, it wasn't about love, it was about control. And here's where it gets chilling. If you remember watching 106 and Park back in the day, you might recall the emotional interview with Mary J. Blige and Free, the host who was also a survivor of mistreatment, talking about Aaliyah's passing. When Aaliyah tragically died in that plane crash, the official story said it was an accident, but rumors quickly spread that she had been sedated before boarding, and some even claimed that she was put on the plane against her will. Whether it was a conspiracy or not, the timing, the people around her, and the silence that followed left fans with more questions than answers. And then came Beyonce. She was young, incredibly gifted, and heavily managed by her family, especially her mom, who kept a close eye on every detail of her career. Beyonce had no real personal life, no real dating history. She once said she only had one boyfriend in high school, so when Jay-Z came into the picture, older, famous, and powerful, it was like the perfect storm. He once said in an interview that he met Bey when she was just about 16, but waited until she was 18 to make his move. But those close to her claim he already had his hooks in by time she was legal. The charm, the influence, it was all there. And just like that, Beyonce became part of something much bigger than a fairy tale love story. She became a piece on a board full of secrets, silence, and power plays. And now in a chilling twist, former bodyguard Uncle Ron has come forward with explosive claims that Jay allegedly got Beyonce hooked on substances early in their relationship, not out of love, but to make her easier to manage. It's a dark echo of what Cassie said about Diddy. Keep her dependent, keep her quiet, and keep her under control.
Remember, Your relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires. There's no love there.
Behind the flawless Instagram posts and diamond-studded red carpet looks, Beyoncé was reportedly screaming on the inside. Insiders say she's been desperately trying to break free, not just from Jay, but from her entire team, even from her mother. She grew up in a machine that molded her into a brand instead of a person. She was a business product, not a daughter, not a girlfriend, not even a free woman. And now, after years of holding it all in, she's crumbling. Whispers of deep depression, isolation, and hopelessness have started to surface. Some sources claim she's quietly been planning to disappear, even contemplating the darkest escape of all, not because she wants to end her life, but because she sees no other way out. As if that wasn't enough, the heat from the ongoing investigations is turning their once shiny empire into a smoking ruin. Jay-Z and Beyoncé, who used to command attention easily, have gone eerily silent. No more Rock Nation brunches. Those massive A-list gatherings that once defined power in the music industry have just vanished. No announcements, no explanations. Their Instagram feeds, once overflowing with curated luxury, are dry, and people are starting to connect the dots, especially since the Diddy scandal exploded. Are they hiding? Prepping to run? The whispers say yes. Allegedly, Beyoncé has already started stacking her money, renegotiating deals, canceling upcoming projects, and quietly pulling out of appearances, not because of sales, but because she's preparing an exit. The planned divorce? Supposedly real. But when prosecutors allegedly started circling both her and Jay, that solo escape plan morphed into a joint flight strategy. Word is they're scouting countries with no extradition treaties, off-the-grid luxury homes, dual identities, and all. They know what happened to Diddy. They saw the lawsuits, the raids, the public takedown, and they don't want to be next. Now, don't feel sorry for Beyoncé just yet, because she's not exactly an innocent bystander in all of this drama. In fact, some say she's been playing the game just as hard as the rest. Let's start with the obvious, her undeniable reign at the Grammys. With her record-shattering 32 Grammy Awards, she holds the crown. But what really raises eyebrows is how everyone seems to worship her at these shows. Artists thank her even when she's not involved. And it's starting to feel less like admiration and more like a rule of survival. It's like the industry whispers, praise Beyoncé or risk everything. And then there's that unforgettable moment from the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. Taylor Swift had just won Best Female Video, beating Beyoncé. But before she could even finish her speech, Kanye West stormed the stage with that now iconic interruption.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
The world was stunned. Most people thought it was just Kanye being Kanye. But what if it wasn't? Some believe Kanye wasn't just hyping Beyoncé, but actually shielding Taylor from something more sinister. Rumors have swirled for years that Beyoncé's influence in the industry runs deep, so deep that artists who refused to play along or challenged her spotlight mysteriously faded out or faced tragic ends. Aaliyah, Left Eye, even Michael Jackson, all names whispered in conspiracy circles, all allegedly caught in the crosshairs of something bigger than talent. Fast forward to the 2017 Grammys. Adele wins Album of the Year for her masterpiece 25. A huge moment, right? But instead of basking in her own success, Adele turned the spotlight right back on Beyoncé. She sobbed, she praised, and in one of the night's most talked about moments, she literally broke her Grammy in half, as if to say, this really belongs to you. Some saw it as respect, others, a coded message. Was it heartfelt tribute or pressure to conform?
The artist of my life is Beyoncé, and this album for me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental. Beyoncé was so...
And it didn't stop there. Lizzo, too, couldn't help but shower Beyoncé with praise during her Grammy win, calling her a major inspiration.
Let me tell you something. Beyoncé, whoo. In the 5th grade, I skipped school to see you perform. My sister, she got me out of school. It was literature. I'm good.
While it's common for artists to show respect to their idols, the way artists continually shift the spotlight to Beyoncé during their own moments of triumph feels suspicious to some. It's almost as if they're paying homage to the Queen out of fear or obligation, rather than genuine admiration. So is Beyoncé really pulling strings behind the scenes? Some think so, and the pattern of behavior from those around her has only added fuel to the fire. What's even more unsettling is that Jay-Z, Beyoncé's husband, has been caught up in some pretty wild rumors too. Similar to what we're now seeing unfold with Diddy. Some people are even saying that if Diddy's troubles are serious, then Jay-Z's might be even worse. And when things just couldn't get more chaotic, Jaguar Wright stepped into the spotlight and made some of the most explosive claims the industry has ever heard. During her appearance on Piers Morgan Uncensored, her first major moment on national TV, Jaguar didn't hold back. She alleged that Beyoncé and Jay-Z are hiding terrifying secrets, including supposedly keeping bodies in their home for disturbing rituals. But it doesn't stop there. She claimed that Jay-Z has been working with the feds for years, throwing other celebrities under the bus to protect himself. According to Jaguar, Jay-Z funded major campaigns like Surviving R. Kelly to divert attention from his own dark activities, even going so far as to suggest he had a hand in orchestrating legal takedowns of his rivals. Even more shocking, Jaguar claims she has 3 victims prepared to testify in court about what they allegedly endured at the hands of Jay-Z and Beyoncé. She described how people were sedated until they passed out, then transported, often on private planes, to locations where the couple could do whatever they wanted to them. The allegations are chilling, and if true, could point to a disturbing pattern of behavior that has long been hidden beneath the glitz and glamour. Jaguar also took direct aim at the hashtag #MeToo movement, questioning their total silence during Diddy's fall from grace. She asked, why, if the movement is so truly about justice and protection, they've stayed so quiet. She strongly believes that Diddy's upcoming court battles could expose much more than his own alleged crimes, and that Jay-Z and Beyoncé might finally be forced to answer for the secrets they've managed to bury for decades. Whether these claims are fact or fiction, one thing is certain. The cracks in the industry's polished surface are starting to show, and more people are beginning to question who's really in control.
Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
How bad was it?
That's what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was it, do you think? What was going on?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later.
But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Beyoncé and Jay-Z's story is the alleged affair with a woman named Kathy. Hollywood Street King first drew attention to this when they published an article suggesting Jay had been romantically linked to Kathy, a friend of Claudia Jordan from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kathy was reportedly spotted at various events with Jay, Diddy, and Claudia, while rumors of the affair were already swirling. Things took a dark turn when Kathy tragically passed away just a year after her rumored connection with Jay-Z became public. Although the official cause of demise was listed as a brain aneurysm, many online speculators aren't buying it. Hollywood Street King dropped a bombshell by claiming Kathy was pregnant with a baby boy at the time of her demise, raising suspicions that her sudden passing wasn't just a coincidence. Jay-Z, already married to Beyoncé, allegedly didn't want any outside children, and this theory only added more fuel to the whispers that foul play might have been involved. An alleged NYPD detective even spoke to the outlet, suggesting that the real cause of Kathy's demise was never truly determined, casting a long shadow over the case. The incident, shrouded in mystery, has become another chilling piece in the puzzle that links Jay-Z and Diddy through patterns of control, secrecy, and alleged manipulation. What makes the comparison even more alarming is how Jay-Z operates so differently from Diddy. While Diddy has a reputation for impulsive, erratic moves, Jay-Z is more calculated, calm, and methodical in protecting his image. But even that calm exterior may not be enough to shield him anymore. When Cassie courageously filed her lawsuit against Diddy, fans applauded her for speaking up, and eyebrows were raised when Diddy settled within just 24 hours. Jay-Z couldn't resist throwing shade at the situation, sarcastically commenting on Diddy's sudden burst of generosity, hinting that perhaps he should have acted sooner to avoid such a public mess. Adding even more layers to this tangled web are persistent rumors about Jay-Z's preferences. Some whisper that his admiration for the legendary artist Jean-Michel Basquiat goes deeper than artistic inspiration. Basquiat, known to be bi, has become a symbol of identity, rebellion, and self-expression. Themes that Jay-Z has repeatedly echoed in his music. In his 2013 track, Picasso Baby, Jay-Z boldly declares, "I'm the new Jean-Michel," a line that's often cited as a direct homage. The influence doesn't stop there. Jay's collaborators like Frank Ocean also reflect the same Basquiat energy. Frank even delivering the haunting line, "I hope my ebony skin doesn't blemish this ivory tuxedo," as a tribute to the late painter. From lyrics to fashion choices, Jay-Z has immersed himself in Basquiat's legacy, blending art with identity. The personal connection between Jay-Z and Basquiat was spotlighted again when Beyoncé gifted her husband a $35 million Basquiat painting for his birthday. Their 2021 Tiffany & Company ad campaign even used a rare Basquiat piece as its centerpiece, with Beyoncé dressed like Audrey Hepburn and Jay-Z mirroring Basquiat's iconic 1985 New York Magazine cover look. But not everyone thinks it's just admiration. Comedian Corey Holcomb raised eyebrows when he bluntly suggested on a podcast that Jay-Z might be gay. It's a theory that, if true, could explain not only Jay-Z's close connection to Basquiat, but also why he's been so fiercely protective of his public image for decades. And as for Beyoncé, her role in all of this is just as fascinating. Some believe she's not only been a loyal partner, but also a carefully placed figure in Jay-Z's narrative. A queen who helps uphold the empire's polished image while distracting from what's really going on behind the scenes. But even that carefully crafted image is beginning to crack. With the FBI now taking a closer look at some of these powerful names, the days of living double lives might be numbered. But what do you think about this situation? Could Jay-Z and Beyoncé really be hiding something bigger than we've imagined? Are the whispers finally catching up with them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives as we continue to uncover the truth behind the fame, the fortune, and the secrets they never wanted you to know.